Next, we have the director of the Southern Mongolian Human Rights and Information Center, Mr. Enghebatu Togochog.
Good afternoon. My name is Enghebatu. I'm the director of the Southern Mongolian Human Rights Information Center, based in New York. I represent the so-called Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region, or we usually call it Southern Mongolia. Let me give you a little bit background information about Southern Mongolia. Southern Mongolia was officially annexed to China and became the first so-called ethnic minority autonomous region in 1949. And since then, the Chinese Communist government's policy of ethnic cleansing, political witch hunts, large-scale population transfer, and forced cultural assimilations have devastated the social and cultural fabric of Southern Mongolia. In addition, it has to lead to a near total destruction of the Mongolian natural environment. As a result of waves of Chinese migration, today the Mongolians in the region consider only 18% of the total population on their own land. The natural grassland where the Mongolians maintained their nomadic way of life for thousands of years have been destroyed earlier by the Chinese farmers, but later by the Chinese extractive industries. As early as in the mid-1940s, tens of thousands of Mongolians were brutally killed by the Chinese during the so-called land reform movement. And in the 1950s, a massive political witch hunt was carried out against the Mongolian elites in the southern Mongolia in the name of the so-called anti-right movement, anti-rights movement. And from the late 1960s to 70s, the Chinese authorities carried out a massive genocide campaign in southern Mongolia in the name of purging the members of anti-revolutionary treasonous group called Inner Mongolian People's Revolutionary Party. According to Chinese official statistics, 346,000 Mongolians were persecuted as national separatists and anti-revolutionaries, and 27,900 were killed. And the Mongolians strongly believe that this number is much lower than the actual figures. And a generally accepted estimate is that at least 1 out of 3 Southern Mongolians were affected by this large-scale genocide. And in 1981, a large-scale Mongolian students' movement took place in Southern Mongolia in protest of the Chinese authorities' plan to speed up the Chinese migration to the region. 3 months later, authorities cracked down on the protests, and the Chinese migration continued. In the 1995, the Chinese government cracked down on a Mongolian peaceful organization called the Southern Mongolian Democratic Alliance. The members of the organizations were arrested, detained and sent to jail, and the organization's president, Mr. Hada, was sentenced to 15 years in jail, and then Vice President Tikshi was sentenced to 10 years in jail. And starting in 2001, the Chinese government adopted 2 sets of policy called ecological. One is called ecological migration policy, and the other one is called total ban over livestock grazing. This policy was officially instituted to forcefully displace the entire Mongolian pastoralist population from their ancestral lands to predominantly Chinese populated agricultural and urban areas under the name of protecting the grassland ecosystem. Under the policy of the so-called total ban over livestock grazing, under this ban, Mongolian herders who graze their livestock on their own lands are charged as criminals and subject to detention, large fines, and the confiscation of their livestock. In 2009, the Chinese central government announced that the Southern Mongolia is China's energy base. because Southern Mongolia has produced the largest coal in China, and also world's 95% of rare earth is from Southern Mongolia. So Chinese extractive industries, including state-run coal, gas, oil companies, as well as some private miners, poured into Southern Mongolia grassland. And the herders' grazing lands have been taken away and opened up for mines. Herders have forcibly been displaced from their land without any compensation or proper resettlement. These policies, combined with various government projects, including the so-called Western development, Western energy to the east, and 10 coverage, and the most recent one, One Belt, One Road, seem to achieve their set goal with the desired outcome, which is to put an end to the millennium-old Mongolian traditional way of life. According to the statement posted on May 30, 2012, on the official site of the website of the Chinese central government, the State Council Steering Committee passed the 12th five-year plan for the project on resettling nomadic people within China. The announcement marks a major and seemingly the final step toward absorbing the entire population of nomadic people into the homogeneous Chinese society and eradicating the nomadic way of life once for all. The central government website also detailed out the plan, claiming that to resettle the remaining nomadic population of 246,000 households, or 1.157 million nomads, by the end of 2015, which is already 2 years ago. The social, economic, and political purpose of this plan were stated as to accelerate the shift of the development mode of pastoralism and protect the natural environment of the pastoralist communities, and to maintain the ethnic harmony and frontier stability, and to lay a firm foundation for building an all-around prosperous society. That's what the Chinese central government website stated. As the Chinese regime becoming increasingly oppressive and hastier in achieving its set goals, Southern Mongolians are rising up to defend their land rights and very survival as a distinct people. For example, now in the rural Mongolian communities, thousands of Mongolian herders are protesting against the mining companies and the government projects, and the protests are very widespread and happening on a daily basis now. So tensions have escalated, particularly between the Mongolian herders and Chinese authorities, as clashes took place almost on a daily basis. And for example, in 2011, the brutal killing of a Mongolian herder named Morgan by the Chinese mining truck sparked a large-scale demonstration of the Mongolian herders and students. And then Chinese authorities mobilized the People's Liberation Army to crack down on the protest. So as a result of mining and large-scale mining and agricultural practice by the Chinese, Mongolian grassland ecosystem has seriously been destroyed, and lakes and rivers are dried up, underground water is depleted, and then air and water is heavily polluted. The Mongolian herders who have been kicked out of their land have become landless, homeless, and jobless on their own land. So the government of China must be warned that these humanitarian crises will be further deteriorated if the authorities fail to take any immediate action to redress the grievances of the Mongolian population. Thank you.
Thank you.